Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to another installment of M-Art. Here I am doing another Cours De Dessin drawing. I think this one was a death mask. I mean, it looks super realistic and it doesn't look like a very Grecian or Roman type of face. So I'm guessing that in the 19th century this would have been a death mask that artists in the Bargue courses at their atelier would have been copying, just the same as they would have copied any, plaster casts, excuse me. As you can see from the video, just doing the exact same process. What I discovered when I chose this one is that the further you go along in the, in each subject, like the first arm is much simpler and less complex than the second arm, and so on and so forth until you get to the last arm, which combines all these different techniques and processes. With this Cours de Dessin book, even if you skip to a later portrait or armed copy, like I did here, you will find that even if it looks simple, it's actually infinitely more complex and harder to do than the earlier drawings. Next week I'll do a child's head, which is one of the first portraits or casts to do of a head in the Cours de Dessin book. This one, I literally chose this one because I thought it would be easier. But it's a later one in the book, and so it is actually way more difficult. So one of the things I can say that is just absolutely brilliant about the Cours de Dessin Charles Bargue plate courses is totally do them in order, because he subtly and without any words teaches you the simplified process first, all the way until a more complex cast, and he builds up your skills as he's doing it. It's really subtle, and the only way you can get this benefit is by doing it yourself. Just do it. You don't actually necessarily have to do it yourself, but you do have to do the drawings, you do have to do the copies. That part is you. You probably will benefit the most getting an atelier instructor or someone with an already trained eye to critique your drawings so you can improve it. But first and foremost, as with anything in life, the first step is always to just do the thing. But for these Cours de Dessin plates, please start from the beginning and work your way to the end. This one, you can see my technique did not change. I'm still using Julia Aristides, basically her how to draw books, to outline it with really simplified lines. I think I actually used some string to measure this. The only thing I think that ended up a little foreshortened in this drawing was his nose, and that's where I didn't use my string. And even then, this is getting way more accurate than I was when I first started. I also saw a really cool technique. It was the New England Atelier of Arts that I saw their video, and she basically used an X-Acto knife to sharpen her pencil, or to, expose the lead of the pencil, and then she used sanding paper to sharpen the pencil. I tried that here. The method is really no better than using a pencil sharpener to me, but it does expose more of the lead, so I thought you had a lot more surface area on the flat of the lead to just do really wide shading if you wanted to. But in terms of sharpening, it was kind of a pain in the butt because you had to use that sandpaper quite often to keep your pencil sharp, which I was not a huge fan of. So I really don't think the technique for sharpening the pencil was any better than just using a regular pencil sharpener. And as they show in one of their Da Vinci Initiative videos, the materials do not matter as long as your eye is trained. So that's where I'm trying to get to. Yeah, sure, the materials are a great crutch, they do more of what you want them to do, but go watch one of those Da Vinci Initiative videos. She does one of these cast drawings in Crayola Crown, and it looks normal, it looks perfect, it looks great. It really is about the trained eye and not the materials. That is why I'm doing these videos, because I'm trying to go from the Aristides technique and refine that until I can actually have a trained eye. I do recognize my mistakes, but still in the measuring process, when I do my outline, either I'm too lazy or something's wrong with my eye. I don't correct it, because I should have noticed that this nose was a little foreshortened, but as we keep doing these Cours De Dessin drawings, we keep refining that and getting better and better. So that's another reason why I'm doing these videos, is because these are actually things you guys could follow along with and could make mistakes like I'm making and could refine them. And as I'm speaking through these videos, hopefully you are getting some of the same techniques that I'm using to be able to practice on your own like I am doing, until you can get better and develop your eye even more. So once again, started with kind of a straight line outline of the face, using string to measure everything proportionally. I used it like calipers, just using comparative distances and measurements, and marking off along the line about the distances where like the ear would be, and then going from there to mark how far the nose would be from the ear, or the eye from the bottom part of the ear would be. And then once I had my full outline of the whole head done, I should have gone back and refined it. I didn't. Instead, I moved on to outlining the shadow shapes with simple lines, which I've done in all the previous videos. This is the process that we're trying to refine and get better at by copying these plaques or plaster casts. And then once I have my shadows outlined, I just do one quick like wash of shadow, which at this part of the video you can see at the bottom in the neck. I can tell you right now, in the actual plate 139 that I'm copying from, that neck is not just one wash of gray, there's lots of different tones. So even though I have that one wash of gray, it's not until I've done all of my shadows, just blocked them in, that I will then go in and start to refine it. And my darkest darks of my shadows will be the last thing I do. You can see that I refined a little bit of my lines down at the bottom, but nothing too different. When you're refining your lines, you should really do that at your outlining stage, which was basically the first part where I was doing my measurements as well. And then now you can see I saw that there was a little bit of reflected light in the Adam's apple and right underneath the chin. They're really simple triangle shapes. Just noticing that with your eye by refining the shapes later, instead of just coloring it all one dark shade at the very beginning, helped me refine those areas and make it much more realistic and detailed. And then here I'm just refining the jaw and just using those really simple triangle shapes, simplifying everything at first and then going over it at the end. And hopefully at some point, even though it seems like a lot of steps in process, I will be really quick at this. I do find that as I get the process down, everything seems to be going quicker and quicker. And I hope that you guys actually go to my first videos, see where I was then, and then progress with me by practicing to get better and better too, and faster. Thank you guys for watching.